Okay, so today we're just going to sketch together. We're going to sketch a piazza in Rome called Santa Maria in Trastevere. And I'm sure anyone who's been to Rome has enjoyed this piazza. It's a favorite around the city. It's a beautiful place, and I've loved painting and drawing there throughout all my years here. So what we're going to do is I'm going to share, I actually have two pictures, and I'm going to let you guys pick which one you prefer. I mean, one's sort of a more cropped one, and one's a zoomed out one. You'll see. And we're just going to do a little exercise. We did this once before in the Jewish ghetto of Rome here online, but what we'll do is first we'll spend a few minutes and make a few sketches where we'll decide and kind of be searching for what's the sketch that we want to make. So we'll each try and do 3 smaller sketches, searching for our idea for a little bit longer sketch. So what we'll do is you can think about what's the idea of your sketch. Do you want to use shading? Are you going to zoom in and just pick a small area and focus on that? Or do you want to zoom out and include everything? Is there a foreground, a middle ground, a background, or is there not? So they're all different kinds of elements. Do you want to make a vertical composition, or do you want to make a horizontal composition? So I'll show you the images and we'll explore that. And you can ask me any questions before we start. So here is, So here's a picture of this wonderful, beautiful piazza. And this is in the morning where it has these really nice shadows coming across. Now, there's a lot going on here, right? If you took the windows class, then this is a good opportunity to practice sketching some windows and some arches. We've got 1-point perspective here, and then some 2-point perspective with the bell tower. So there's a lot going on and to potentially sketch. Now, here's a cropped version with a figure in the foreground even. Maybe it's better to work from this one just because it's easier to see as well. Does anybody have a preference? Do you like this image or the other better?
I like this image better. It's Donna.
Okay, yeah, great. So maybe we can, the close-up. Okay, Connie and Jen are saying this one. Okay, so why don't we work from this one? Okay, great. So what we're going to do is we're going to take 10 minutes. Now, 10 minutes, I know, is not a lot of time, but it's good to think about working quickly. And what we're going to do in this first 10 minutes is we're going to sketch 3 small ideas, right, for a little bit longer sketch in this, based on this image, this photograph. Now, one thing I want to say is you do not have to include everything, right? Our drawings are drawings, they're not photographs. So you can, you don't have to include this weird military car if you don't want to, right? You could take out the figure, or you can take the figure and put it somewhere else. You don't have to draw the fountain. You can, right? You can just zoom in on one aspect. It's completely up to you. And this photograph is actually more vertical oriented, but yours doesn't have to be. So what I'd say is, I'm gonna just show myself for a second. What I'd say is, one easy way or good way to work is make a frame to work inside of before you make your sketch. So what I mean by that is, make an outline a box first and then make your sketch inside of that. Sometimes I find if I start to sketch, it just keeps spreading and spreading and spreading. So if you sort of set some parameters for yourself before you begin, that can help a lot in keeping your sketch a small size and keeping with your initial idea, which might be, oh, I'm going to try something vertical, or I'm going to try something horizontal. Obviously, you can move the borders of your frame around as you work, right? You might want to crop it down even smaller in the end, or you might want to extend it. So it's helpful if you start with a frame that you can then work inside of. Okay, so does anyone have any questions before we start sketching?
Kelly, I do. So I think what you're saying is we're going to use that 10 minutes and chop it, and do 3 separate quick sketches within that 10 minutes?
Yes, exactly. So
Okay.
we're going to use that 10 minutes to make 3 small sketches. And these sketches are just to explore different possible ideas. Okay, so then at the end of that, we'll pick one of the 3 to then develop a little bit further. And that's so you're not, stuck with your initial idea that might not work out so well. So 10 minutes is a good, limited time that you won't waste too much time, but you could explore different ideas. So we'll just do small, and they can be detailed, because 10 minutes really isn't enough time to give detail. So did that answer your question?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, good. So any other questions? Okay, so before we start, here are a few things to think about. Are you going to include shadows or shading? Right, so another thing you could think about is, where is the point of interest or focal point? Like, where do you want the center of interest in your drawing to be? You may not have an answer to that, right? Sometimes you get the answer to that in drawing. Is it going to be vertical or horizontal? Are you going to zoom in or zoom out? Will your drawing have a foreground, middle ground, and background, or not? So these are just some ideas that you can work with for your 3 different ideas, right? In these initial 3 sketches. I'm going to make sure I turn this off. Okay, so I'm going to set the timer, and we can just explore 3 different ideas in 10 minutes. And if we need more than 10 minutes, it's fine. But we'll stop at 10 and see how it's going. Okay, let's start. Okay, excuse me, we have about 2 minutes left. Excuse me. Okay. So, how's everyone doing? That was pretty fast, huh? Okay. About 10 more seconds. Um, Okay. I'm going to stop. Okay, so even if you didn't do 3, that's okay. I know it's not a lot of time. So does anybody want to share or ask questions, or, what did you discover? Do you think that you got any possible interesting ideas for drawings? Excuse me.
Kelly, what's the name of that plaza again?
It's called Santa Maria in Trastevere.
You lost me
Trastevere.
after Santa Maria.
Okay, Santa Maria in, and then the last word is Trastevere, which is tras is Latin for across, Tras, and then Tevere is the Tiber River in Italian. Trastevere. So it's across the river. Yeah, thank you. Teresa wrote it into the chat box so you can see it.
So this is Donna, and I've discovered that what I often have trouble with is choosing a section of a view to, a section of the view to draw. So I actually did what I always do. I cut some little holes. And I mean, if I'm in a tower 3 stories above hills, I look at this and say, okay, that's the part I'm going to draw. So that helps somewhat with the screen. But I found that I did not care if I got the windows in the right place. All I liked was the way the sky is hiding behind that building. I just like that sky, you know what I mean? So
Yeah, that's
accuracy was not important to me. It was
yeah.
just that shape of the sky and the shadows. That's what I faced.
Yeah, right? That becomes a really interesting shape where the buildings and then the space in between.
Yeah, I mean, if it were in color, it would be blue sky and tan buildings. I didn't even get the third one done. But I
Yeah,
was,
well, actually, it's really interesting because I think the second one that you did is it's really good. It's very successful. And the fact that you did it a second time seems like you were able to study it better.
yeah, but I mean, I know I got proportions and shapes wrong. I just wanted that sky to roof thing, and I was making up the rest, kind of. So there you go. Not too accurate, but thank you.
No, it looks great. Yeah, we're not gonna go and compare it to the photograph. So I think it looks great. The proportions look really good, actually, and it's really interesting. The diagonal of the shadow brings you in, and then with the light of that space of the sky in between the buildings, it actually makes for an interesting composition. Thanks for sharing.
Thank you. Thank you. You have to turn off my camera.
Does anyone else want to share? Yeah.
I'll share.
Okay, I can do that. Okay,
Okay.
great.
I kind of do that. I loved her drawing.
Absolutely.
Can you hear me? Okay. I loved her drawings because I love the details when I start drawing, but then I get caught up in the details. But there's
Oh,
first
nice.
and anyway.
Yeah, beautiful. And I love this like really vertical composition as well, right? It's just so yeah, do you prefer but you got a lot done in 10 minutes.
Yeah, but I didn't even start the box for the third one, but anyway, that was fun to do, and I've appreciated your classes leading up to this because I would just get overwhelmed right off. Or I would just get caught up in details to where, anyway, I just get too frustrated. So I try to simplify, but still the details just fascinate me with this architecture. Anyway. I think you're frozen, Kelly. You're frozen. Anyway, I'm going to shut off my camera and I'm going to mute myself.
We'll share. Whoops, let me see there we are. Okay, ready, Michael?
Go.
Michael's. And mine.
Did you get it? I'm not even sure we're on.
I don't think we're on.
I saw you. It's Donna.
Yeah, I saw you too. I think Kelly just froze.
Sorry, I've been having a lot of problems with my internet. Okay, sorry. Is everyone there? I'm still here, hopefully.
Yeah, you're back, Kelly.
Okay, I'm sorry about that. Our internet has not been working properly for the last, I don't know, a couple of days. I'm just gonna stream it off my phone. Okay. Sorry about that.
Well, we were brave enough to show, but I think everybody else saw, but you.
Yeah, so,
Yeah, we saw it.
okay, cool.
Beautiful.
Oh, okay, well, okay, everybody saw it, so it's fine.
Yeah, so did you find one composition that you thought worked better than the others?
Well, I've been impressed with how much detail people are getting in this little tiny bit of time. I just went for the big stuff, but yeah, I think I like the was it Donna's? I liked hers a lot. I like the idea of looking at the sky. I didn't even think about looking at the sky.
Yeah, okay, that's great, right? Like somebody saw something different, right? The actual negative shapes of the sky make interesting shapes. Yes, very cool.
What I like about that, especially when you're in any town in Italy, is you'll look up at the roof and there'll be some very modern TV antenna against the sky of this beautiful old building. So that's fascinating to me.
Yeah, there are lots of interesting things where it's like old and new meet, right? In Italy, especially. Cool, thank you. Does anyone else want to share? Oh, Sharon. Yeah, Sharon, hold on, you're muted. Let me see if I can unmute you. 1 second.
Okay, you there?
Okay, great. Yes, hello.
Hi. So I had difficulty narrowing it down. So first I sort of left out the fountain. I liked the shadows is what really drew me in, is that nice, strong, dark green coming across here and here. I didn't really get to the third one. So I was just going to take a slice and then move it over a little bit each time, this time including the fountain. And this time I was going to have more of the fountain, maybe less of the buildings. But anyway, I did like the scene, and I was drawn to the shadow area.
Great.
Okay.
These are wonderful. And which one, do you prefer one over the other? Which one do you think is a stronger drawing or a more interesting composition?
I think maybe the one with the fountain.
Okay, why? Why?
Because that
gives
you more shape. It gives you an interesting shape for your bright spot in the middle too, for this.
Yeah, right. It creates a sort of sense of space and distance and somewhere to look.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very cool. Great. Thank you so much. And Donna is saying, I can't believe how fast everyone sketches and includes details. Okay. Yeah, I'll show you mine. I didn't get any details in it, it's any consolation. These are my 3 ideas. One is like, so this is a little more zoomed out, and kind of like Connie, I like the idea of trying out a vertical composition. And then I just zoomed in on the doors with this sort of diagonal shape. And then I did a super zoom in with just a door, like a single door. I don't know, I think any of these could be developed, right? And maybe just slightly changing the composition, like adding a little on this side here, or adding like the edge of another arch here might work. This might be okay. I mean, I would say, why don't we now pick one of the however many sketches that we did. Somebody says, you got 3 done. Yeah, I was like racing against time, I felt like. But it's good because it forces you to just, think about essential information. So that's the thing about having time limits. Sometimes it can be really helpful. And just forcing you to make quick decisions. So why don't we pick one of your sketches that you were able to do in this first part, and we're going to develop it a little bit further. So I'll say we'll start with 10 minutes, and at 10 minutes we'll check in and see how it's going. If you want more time to work, I'm guessing everyone will want more time. But pick one of the ideas, the one you think is most interesting as a composition, like maybe it leads your eye in, or it's something, has a nice play of shapes or of light and shadow. And let's try and develop it. Now you can kind of change it as you go if you need to. So any questions or comments or anything before we do that next part? Okay.
So we're going to do this one bigger, Kelly?
Yeah, so yes, exactly. So pick one, and we're going to draw it again. And you can draw it bigger. I'd say don't try to fill the whole page because we don't have enough time. So this is just a regular, like letter sheet of paper. Maybe I would try like half of this size, vertically or horizontally, or cut into a square. But half a sheet is probably what we can cover in 10 or 15 minutes. So it's still not a lot of time, but it is going to force you to get the big shapes and the main ideas in first, right? And then like the little details, those can go in at the end if we have time. Okay. So are you ready? Okay, I'll share the image again. Okay, so here we go. And I'll set the timer for 10 minutes and we'll check in and see after that if it's enough time. Okay, and let's start.
We don't see anything.
Oh, you don't?
I don't.
Yeah, neither do I. It's Donna.
Oh, really?
And I
Okay. Oh, really? Oh, gosh. I'm having a computer meltdown, I think. Let's see. Can you see this?
No.
Just a spinning wheel.
Oh, really? Interesting. Okay. More technical difficulties. Let me stop my video for a second and see if.
We see your face when your face is on.
Okay. Let's see. Let me try again. Let's see. Are you able to see this?
No?
No.
Oh boy.
It just says that
Okay.
you're sharing your screen, but we can't see the image on your screen.
Okay. I wonder if it's just like a delay or what that could be.
You should wait a minute.
I'm so sorry. Just let's see. Let's give it a second and see if. Are you able to see now?
Yes, it just popped up.
Yep,
This
it
is
just
Donna.
popped up.
Okay, I think there is a delay. Really sorry about that. Okay, so if everyone can see, just let me know if you can't, and we'll start. We'll start now.
Okay. Mhm.
Okay, we have about 2 minutes left. Okay. Okay. So, does anybody need just 1 or 2 more minutes? Can we stop here?
I could use 1 or 2 more minutes, Donna.
Okay. Why don't we have just a couple more minutes? Okay. So, excuse me, just about 30 more seconds. Even if you're not done, we'll have a look. Okay. So I'm going to take this image down. I'm sorry to anyone who's still working. Okay, so I know it's not a lot of time, but do you feel like you got to develop your idea a little bit further? And then if you did, what did you see from that? Do you think you had a good idea that really makes for an interesting drawing? Or did things go wrong? What did you discover?
It's Donna again. I discovered that I had to make the drawing a little more vertical, so I could take that strong shadow I had before and let it zigzag across the street. And then I got lost, but I love that shadow.
Yeah, right. The shadow is really dynamic. Okay, good. So in drawing, you realized you needed to extend the shadow.
Right, yeah.
Okay, great. Does anyone else want to share? Someone says, I have trouble knowing where to start. Yeah, this is a really good point. So one thing that Donna shared that was really helpful was she made like a little homemade viewfinder where she cut a piece of paper, a square out of a piece of paper and could look through that. You can also cut out two L-shaped, I don't have them right next to me, like L-shaped pieces of paper like this. And you can use them as a viewfinder, right? So you can kind of zoom in and zoom out for ideas of cropping. So that was the reason why it's a really good idea sometimes if you're not sure where to start or what is the drawing exactly, to just sketch some small, quick ideas, right? Until you discover, something that you make a good and interesting drawing. Okay, I can share mine. So I decided to take this small idea, which is not completely worked out, and I had developed it into this sketch, right? And so this isn't completely worked out either, right? Like, but the idea is to balance the dark with the light, right? So this part is dark, and it has some variations in the dark, and then this is sort of the light. Okay, does anyone want to ask any questions, make comments, share anything that you did, any of your drawings?
So Kelly, I find myself, I get overwhelmed with all the, I need perspective, let me do big shapes, let me put it, with some reflection, I'm a little happier with it, but it just feels so, I don't know, something about it. So I like depth, and so I was trying to get everything with it, and felt then dissatisfied with the whole thing in a way. So. Wow,
that's really nice. Yeah, and right, the building leading in to that's on the side, that's a great way to create depth. And I mean, even if I think it's in shadow in the photograph, I mean, even just putting a light shadow on that, and the back building being in light with just that one shadow coming across, I think that would make it just the contrast of the dark kind of framing the light will make it jump out. That's really nice.
All right, thank you.
You got a lot done. Yeah. Joanne, did you want to share or say something?
Yeah, I'm kind of embarrassed, but I'm going to do it anyway.
You're a brave soul, sacrificing for the crowd.
I got way out there, but I'll start from the sketches because I started with this sketch first, this little one here.
Beautiful.
And then I got into this here with all these details. And then you said 2 minutes, and so I threw down like this one.
Yeah, nice.
And I decided that I like this one best, even though it's like a total scribble. But then I got kind of really lost in doing it and just, just You know, it was over ambitious, but it was kind of, I have to do it again, like 10 more times. It's like an abstract expressionist painting more, you know.
It's really nice though, yeah. But the diagonal of the shadow with the figure like following in that direction is a really nice composition, I think.
Yeah, it's anyway.
Thanks for sharing. I really like it. And you totally went along and tried everything. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Donna says, I like the abstract aspect.
Being kind.
Did you? Yeah. Who wants to share next?
Can I do that?
Sure. And then Sharon, can you go after Connie? Is that okay?
Do you want me to go or somebody else?
Yeah, please.
Okay. I wanted to do that tower, but there weren't really a lot of shadows to play with. And that was the thing that was kind of frustrating to me, is to find them. So I just focused on the details, but I liked everybody else's with all the shadows more. But
Oh, yeah. But this is nice because you see two sides, and then making the decision to put in those diagonals of the roof, it really gives it a context. That's cool. And you know, actually in the photograph, the sky is really dark.
oh
You
yeah.
can even get like light shading behind it, right, to make it sort of jump out. Like you could even make it, you know, more than it actually is. But I think that could really, that could be something that works.
I'll do
really
that.
Nice. I mean, really. Okay, yeah, try that. See what you think. Thanks.
Thank you.
Okay. Sharon, did you want to share?
Here we go. Okay. I think I was too ambitious. I was trying to do too much because I really did like the scene. So I think if I took out just this much, I like it just this way with the dark, and the diagonal. See, this is so horizontal that it doesn't really add a lot of interest now that I look at it some more. So I really do like it with just that much.
Yeah. Okay, that's great. Yeah, and it's easy to crop, right? So you could work. That's really nice. I'm so impressed by how much you guys have done in that. You're very prolific. That's a really nice drawing. And I think the shadow in the foreground really does, like with the contrast of the light and the shadow, and how it's diagonal really brings you in, right? It takes you into the shadows under the arches.
Yeah.
Nice work.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing.
You're
Okay. Anyone else? Okay. So thank you all so much for participating and sketching Rome together. That's really fun. I'm going